Hello, yet another short Inkscape tutorial we are going to go through. In this tutorial, we are going to learn how to manipulate the stroke and then the fill of objects in Inkscape. As you can see on screen, this text is having a fill which is green and then a stroke which is black. So how do you make a text like that? As I'm dragging on screen. Now we see, for example, if somebody wants you to do a thing similar to this you are seeing on screen, notice the text is having a stroke, white line stroke, and then no fill. That means that wherever this is placed, it takes the fill from, it takes the color of the whatever background that image is placed on. So straight away, let's get started and do a similar thing in Inkscape. So for example, we're going to do something like that. To do any changes to this text, so by default, if I type some text like this, type some text, let's say managing fill and stroke of objects in Inkscape. In this case, I'm using Inkscape 0.92. So we want to, once I type this, it is solid color. Now we want to give the outline. If you use Microsoft Word and others, they call that stroke around the object the outline of it, and then the inside fill as the fill, like you are seeing in Inkscape as well. That's the fill. So if you see a text like this, as we just typed, it has those properties which you can manipulate, and that's what I'm going to show now. We are going to learn together. So let's see how we are going to change this text, managing the fill and stroke of objects. So this is simply by going to do that, you simply go to the object while that particular object is highlighted. It is, in this case, this is highlighted because I'm seeing these handles there. If I click on the Catholic Dagaba and I'm trying to do any modification of the fill and the stroke, then that will apply to this one, which is Dagaba, Catholic Dagaba, which is currently highlighted or selected. So, but we want to work on this one, the managing fill and stroke. So we have to click on it to have this handles on it before we go to objects and then fill and stroke. You could equally press while it is highlighted. You could have equally used the shortcut key combination Shift Control F, and that would have brought up the dialog box where you can manipulate those things. Notice to your right of your screen or my screen, something has joined to the screen. A component has just come up to your right, which has its title Fill and Stroke. And in this fill and stroke, whatever changes you do here will affect this text. So currently on screen, the stroke panel or tab is what is selected, and we can go ahead and do changes to it. At the moment, that object there, which is managing something, has no stroke. It hasn't gotten a line on its edges. That's how come the item selected here has no pin. That is the one selected by default. The X, you can see my mouse hovering around it. So we are going to give it a stroke by clicking the next one. And once I click this flat color button, it gives me the option to give some color to the stroke, the line or the outline around the edges of the text. So here it is there by default. After I've clicked the flat color, it took the black color, which is completely taking the highest black color, which is 255. The rest of the colors, red, green, and black, blue, are giving 00s by default now. So if I wanted to change to more red, I can increase that number to something, let's say 220, and press enter. And then if you can see on screen, my text is still having the inside of it as black, and then the edges, that is the outline, as red. You can see it's red now. If you can't see, we are going to see it very soon. If we go to the fill and change the fill to no paint, you will say no paint under the fill tab that you are seeing there. If I say no paint, then you can see the text better on screen. So it means that whatever is behind the text can be seen through the fill. The fill has been removed. If we say we don't even need any painting inside there, so it's like a glass now. We can see through the text. So if it is lying on top of anything, that particular object will be showing behind it. But if we want the color, then we click the second flat color, then we change the color to the color that we want. So if we want more of green, then we can increase the color numbers there according to the red, green, blue color. If I just say 25, some blue has been added, but your eye may not be sharp enough to see the change. So if you increase the size to the highest, you see more green has come and the text has changed to have a red outline with the inner fill green. So you can give some combination, some more, 255 here to or 250 something, just experimenting with that. So you see it combines some bit of green and some bit of red, and then forms a color that is giving you more of a yellow, right? So you can remove that. Everything you want it to be white, you can put everything 0. All right, you see now we have more of the red, so definitely that will dominate in the item. You give here to 0 again, and that will come back to, if you give all red, green, blue, or 00 with the opacity, that's how transparent, how opaque, like you cannot see through it, how far it cannot be seen through, that's the opacity of it. So if you reduce that, then to some extent, that will be reduced, and then it will be gradually seen merging into the other ones behind it. Notice that xylophone thing to your right, to your left, you are seeing faintly showing through the text while the text still has its color. So you are making it a bit transparent. If you take it to the highest color, 255, you cannot see through at all. But now I have brought it to 198. I can see through, but still the black is still there as a color. So it blends in that way. So that's how we manipulate or you can do changes too. So the further to that, the last tab, you can actually also do some more increment there. Let's say the border of the text is too thin for you. You can increase the width. Uh, you can increase the width of it. While you are clicking, look to your text. It is actually increasing to reflect. So you see, if I continue, it will actually take over. The fill will be that small because the border will become bigger. And as it becomes bigger, it shrinks in, and then that is your text now. So that is that, and that is how we did this. This one was done. So that's the same thing with any other object you draw on screen. Let's say if you draw this rectangle, it equally has a fill and has the property, the outline or stroke. In this case, in Inkscape, it has the stroke feature or characteristic or property. So we can do changes to all that. If we only want the stroke but not the fill, because there are times you can have the objects lying on top of each other and you don't want the other to cover the other one. You only want its outline. So you can manipulate that. So here we can change the width of the stroke, this which is highlight the rectangle we just drawn, and we can actually go to the stroke paint and do some change, some more changes to something else. So once I do increase the number, you can see that the edges or the outline or the stroke of that rectangle is now blue. All right. So we then want to remove the inside, which is the fill. If we don't want to remove it completely by reducing it by some amount, then we can say 2 something or 1 something. Give some number which is lesser, and then the lesser the number, then the transparency comes in. So 22 is a number, it's still too small. I mean, let's say 222. If we reduce it further, if you keep reducing it further, or we could type directly inside or use those whatever the stroke paints. You reduce it further and then you can pick it around, right? Let's see, the better you put it on top of somebody. You can see no fill. No fill. No fill. No fill at all. And you go, I mean, yes, that's a fill, not the stroke. We're working on the stroke now. So they were decreasing for the stroke. That's how come you are not seeing. Notice we were in the wrong tab. When you are working on the particular area of the object, then that is where your focus should be on. So you notice that the edges, though it's blue, you can't see it now because I've reduced the transparency to so small a number that you can easily see while on screen. So let's take it back to 225 and that becomes clearer again. Now let's move to the fill tab, and at that point, if I reduce, like I'm saying, let me put it on top of another, so while it gets transparent we can see that it is getting easier for you to see another object behind it, right? You see it's showing up. Look at that. At this point, we can see the writing there showing at the background of it. So it's now becoming like a glass, transparent enough for you to see what is behind it. So you can actually continue till it gets to the level you want. If you don't want to remove the fill completely, otherwise you could just go to the top here. If you don't want the fill, you don't want any painting inside there at all, no matter whatever color, you just click the no paint and then say this way, right? So you can see that it is now clear, and wherever I move it, whatever it is lying on top, that item can still be shown, because you can have a headache trying to place pile objects together. You are only possibly interested in only the outline of it to form another object, and then this has covered the other items that can join together to make the whole other new object you are forming. So that is when it becomes necessary to remove completely the inside, which is called the fill, and left with only the stroke, in which case somewhere you find the stroke is called the outline. For example, if you're using Microsoft Word in doing some of those things. So that's how you can actually do manipulation of objects with fill and then form your own cool stuff. Thank you, and hope this tutorial has been useful. Cool things you can do with this. So every time you could have also equally right click on that particular object and say fill and stroke, and this stroke dialog could also pop up for you to use, right? Several things you can do over there. Reduce its opacity by using these guys, right? See, whenever I click this, instead of the up there manipulating the, it will continue to get less opaque, can be seen through, right? See, it's merging into the other text, but when you come back, right, it's no more that much opaque, that much transparent. See that? So that's it.